Here he is, Pritch. How are you doing, man?
I'm great, fellas. How y'all doing?
We are doing
bad.
great.
Right, sweet. I love the laid-back approach that you have.
Oh,
here.
yeah,
It
I know.
is much better.
We like to keep it light. We're trying to get some tequila shots from over there. Over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's past lunchtime, right?
I don't like our odds, but we're
No?
trying. Yeah.
We're going to try and make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, that might be tough. You need jackets. You need something to put them in, like to carry them through, though, right?
Yeah, that's smart. That is smart.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you remember this. I'm pretty sure the day that COVID started, we were at the Westgate Sportsbook, and Chris Fuselier drove us to the arena for the Pac-12 tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you on that ride?
I was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
that was me.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that was an awesome experience. Chris, when he comes to Vegas,
I know.
he does it up, right?
I know. I know. You get the
first
text
class.
where he's just like, "Yeah, I've got the booth at the Sportsbook. You want to come hang out?" It's like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What a crazy day, though.
Yeah.
I remember just sitting there. It's like, wow, here goes like Bill Murray is the thing, and like Rudy Gobert was blowing on the mics and all that.
Yeah.
And then the tournament gets all shut down.
It got
and the
shut
fans.
down. It was crazy how it happened too, because like it was, you get in there, you get settled in, you start watching the conference championship stuff, and all of a sudden they started handing out papers, like the event's done. No more games after this one. And it was just shut down.
The last game was the Buffs.
That was the last game. And so what do we do now? Do we just get up and walk away? I mean, do the players know? And what's going on here? Because the tournament's over, right?
So weird.
So that was very weird.
That was very weird.
A big day for the Denver Broncos today, introducing Sean Payton as their new head coach. Pritch, I'm just curious kind of your reaction to the hire and what it means for the future of the Denver Broncos.
Well, it's encouraging. I mean, I think after the last few seasons for the Broncos, you get a guy like Sean Payton into the building to lead your team as a head coach is encouraging. And I think that's where the Broncos have to start at this point. Create any type of positivity, signs of optimism. Give the fellas some more confidence too, right? I mean, I think the organization, the entire organization, even the new ownership group, they're walking in and they're probably stunned at what happened last year. So you had to part ways with a coach, and nobody wants to do that. So I think it's encouraging and certainly a step in the right direction for the Broncos at this point.
You've been in Vegas, obviously. What's the reaction around there? Are Raiders fans upset about it? Are they making fun of him for trading a pick?
You know what? Raider fans are upset at Mark Davis right now. I mean, the Raiders went to the playoffs, right? And then went backwards.
Yep.
They went backwards, and they supposedly upgraded talent with Devontae Adams, and you bring in Josh McDaniels, and he's got 6 Super Bowl rings, as an offense coordinator, but yet the pedigree's there, and you think it's supposed to be an upgrade over an interim head coaching situation, but the interim head coach led the team to 10 wins.
Yeah.
So I think Raider Nation is uneasy. Now that Sean Payton's in the division, they're more uneasy. He's still chasing Kansas City, though. The Chargers with a new coordinator and Kellen Moore, what is he going to do with Justin Herbert? So there's that thought process out there as well.
And it looks just like what happened with Josh McDaniels when he was in Denver, where it's like chasing the quarterback out. Like there's this implosion that kind of goes on. It's weird. It's strange.
Very, very weird. Now, and they did that by design, too, I think, because of the contract. I mean, they can cut him. Right before February 12th or something like that.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Right after Super Bowl. So, or they can trade him. I think they've been trying to find trade partners for him, or he's trying to do it with his agent. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that was a conspiracy. I mean, think about it. Yeah, I mean, Carr couldn't win in that situation. Probably couldn't unless he went to the playoffs, and obviously the Raiders didn't do that. So. We'll see what quarterback they bring in, but nobody in Raider Nation right now is confident right now.
Speaking of quarterbacks, obviously Russ was an issue for the Broncos last year. I'm curious what you thought was the big issue there, and if Sean Payton can get that turned around.
There's several issues. One, I think the biggest one would be, is he coachable? And answering that question. I have not seen a quarterback fall off like that. I mean, from the level that Russ was at, with a different team, I get it. But to fall that badly, I mean, he hit his backside twice falling. So I don't think he's coachable. I think he's in his own, because he's got his own people, right? He's got his own process now. It's nothing it doesn't seem like it was connected to the Broncos at all. It was work out at my place, do this my way, do this that way, and then obviously on the field it didn't work out. So I know Sean Payton probably has a strong enough ego and certainly the method to help Russell Wilson realize he needs to remain coachable. But if he doesn't remain coachable, then I don't know how it improves.
Yeah, the encouraging sign for me is the reports out there that Russ wanted Sean Payton, and you assume that if he wanted Sean Payton, it's because he knows about Sean Payton's expertise when it comes to offensive football.
Right.
His success with an undersized quarterback in Drew Brees, and just said, okay, I'm kind of embarrassed over the way this year went.
Yeah.
This is the guy that might be able to help me get back.
Yeah, but what Sean and Drew Brees accomplished, Russ isn't going to do that. I mean, that was a Hall of Fame career, but think about how many years they were together, too.
15.
Yeah, so Russell's not going to have that many years to go with Sean Payton. They're going to have to establish that right away, and to me, that's different. I've been involved with coaches, high-profile coaches who won a Super Bowl, take over a football team, and one of the first things that they want to do is make sure that everybody is treated the same way. Like, can you imagine Russell being treated the same way after what you guys saw last year?
He had his own office in the building.
Right. So how is that going to happen, though? I mean, think about that. So that's just the beginning. That's not even work on the field yet. And I think, for me being in that building, John Elway, to everybody, I mean, everybody was, Shannon Sharp, everybody was treated the same way. And Terrell Davis, those are superstars, right? And
TD said the same thing.
Yeah, everybody
did.
was treated the same way, and because it's a team game. It's no one individual. And I think Sean Payton has his work cut out for him to get Russell to conform to that or to understand that again. I mean, if he can do that, then I think they hit the ground running, and I think Broncos and Broncos country will be happy about the results after that.
And it almost feels like Sean Payton can't jump in and have everybody act differently and behave differently. Like, you almost need John Elway to say, no, I am going to do this extra work. Like, I am going to be just one of these guys and accept that role. That's as much as the problem is Sean Payton coming in saying, do this.
Yeah, I mean, but being coachable, you can do by example like that, right? But being coachable too, though, is more than just showing up, though. I mean, it's being humbled in front of people. Like, no, Russ, that was wrong. You can't execute that play like that. It's supposed to be executed this way. I mean, that's being coachable, and that's being treated just like everybody else. And to a legend, to a Bronco legend, they all accepted criticism. They all accepted coaching. They all accepted the fact that we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. But it's the coach's job to make sure that we are perfect or close to being perfect as we can get. From Russell, from mechanics and to trying to improvise and all that, he's just off script. He's just off the page, and I don't know how you bring him back in. Maybe Sean Payton does. That's why he took the job, though, other than the $20 million for a year.
That helps.
Sean Payton just printed 1,000-yard receivers in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just didn't matter who went in there. They were succeeding. From a receiver's point of view, one, why do you think that's so successful? And two, if you were a Jerry Jeudy, a Cortland Sutton, a Tim Patrick this offseason, what would you be doing and studying to make sure that you're kind of ready for what's coming?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think, in today's NFL, if you don't get 1,000 yards, there's something wrong with you, really. I mean, between the 20s, it's so wide open. They don't even press you anymore. They can't do the things to disrupt your route anymore. So you can get free releases, and you got to get open, right? I mean, catch the rock. You'll get 1,000 yards. So it's that. It's elevating your game, too, though. I think run after the catch is essential for a lot of players. They don't understand that much, but especially the shallow crosses and basic crosses and stuff like that. If you can make people miss, be elusive, create run after the catch, one, it helps the offense. Two, it helps your quarterback. But then you pad your stats as well, right? Everybody wants to go deep. Everybody wants to go deep, but everybody can run now. I mean, you got defensive backs that are running just as fast as wide receivers, and now they're 6'4".
Yeah.
Tyreek Woolen and those
exactly
guys,
what
right?
I was thinking about when you were talking.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner. I mean, all those guys are taller. So it's more about getting open when that opportunity comes. But, man, yeah, just perfect your game. Run after the catch, I think, is a big key, though.
Yeah, and one of the tough parts is that with Sean Payton's offense in New Orleans, it's all built on, clearing out the middle of the field, and here comes Michael Thomas on a slant, or Marcus Colston underneath, or you're hitting Alvin Kamara on these short little passes. Whereas Russell, when he's at his best, it's the power run and then the play action off of it and the deep shot, and those two things just seem so different.
Right.
That I'm just curious to see how they try to patch those together.
How do they make that work? Again, it goes back to being coachable for Russell Wilson, I believe. Everybody wants to shoot the three, but we all can't be Steph Curry, though. I mean, you got to drive the lane sometimes, and if you equate that to football, that is the possession route. So, that is the high percentage plays and high percentage opportunities and moving the chains, getting into rhythm. I mean, how many times did we see the Broncos not even in rhythm yet offensively? So I think Sean Payton will bring that. He has to bring that discipline, and he will. But will the players, in particular Russell Wilson, will he understand that? Which he should. And if he can humble himself that way and start to understand it, then you're right. You'll see the Broncos matriculate. We'll also see big plays, too, offensively. But more importantly, I think Broncos country will see consistency, though.
Do you think Jerry Jeudy is that guy? Like, can he be that guy?
I thought he was the best prospect coming out of college that I've seen since Randy Moss.
Wow.
From a route running standpoint, from a quickness, from a suddenness standpoint. But, when you get into the league and you get some money, but he has the ability to be like what people are saying about Justin Jefferson right now. He has the ability to be what people are saying about Jamar Chase, but nobody's saying that about him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that ability. He really does. But hopefully he can stay focused on that stuff, I mean, look, you start winning, you start going to the playoffs, you start going to Super Bowls, people are going to know your name.
Yep.
The great Rod Smith once told me the reason why I was so motivated in practice, right? It was on practice squad, was he just recognized and realized the opportunity that he was given, right? And like, man, you guys have probably heard this. He's like, I get to put cleats on for a living, right? That was his drive, but I don't see that from Jerry Jeudy, and what I see is what a lot of today's athletes are involved in, and that's popularity.
Yeah. What is the biggest difference? And maybe it's different now, but going from college to the NFL as a wide receiver.
Everybody's good. I mean, in college, not everybody's good in college, right? And so a lot of times, that you're better than that person, and you're going to have a higher level of success than that person. But in the National Football League, everybody's good, and you better respect that, because if you don't, you're going to be left behind. It's like that train or that bus you're trying to catch up to, and you can't catch it because it's always moving. And so you constantly have to work on your game. You constantly have to find ways to improve your game.
Yep. Speaking of everyone being good, who in practice or in game was the best corner you ever went against?
Well, it was Deion Sanders.
Oh,
come on!
How did he come up on this?
Yeah. I didn't even have to think about that one. No, we used to negotiate the receiver line and one-on-ones. Because you get up there and, you don't want to go up and you see Deion, he's about to get the next rep, and so maybe your shoelace gets untied, and so you say, hey, why don't you take the next rep? Because you wanted to go up against Deion Sanders because he was going to make you better. The thing about Coach Prime now, or even back then, is when he did beat you or you didn't beat him and you weren't successful, he would let you know what he saw. Hey, you tipping. Hey, you were doing this. Hey, I saw your eyes. Whatever it was that you were susceptible to, he would let you know. So that helped me out as a younger player. And then going up against, anybody else in the league, it was like it's not the same as going up against Coach Prime or Deion Sanders at the time back then. So, but hands down, he was really good.
What do you think made him so great, other than the physical abilities?
His confidence, one, he would study the opponent, who he was playing, and he would know that person inside and out, their tendencies. He would know when to jump jam, when not to jump jam, how to play inside or outside leverage, which leg to put up. he would mess with receivers because he knew what their game was all about. And then in practice, he would take every rep. You know, we go through certain periods, and then you have the second team come in or whatever, but no, Deion would go through every rep.
Wow.
So his conditioning was top-notch too. So he was always faster than everybody, but then, you know, to remain fresh, to go up against Jerry like he had to go up against Jerry Rice twice a year, he was mentally and physically ready for those challenges.
It seems like a lot of that applies to being a coach too. Like if you're spending time studying opponents and knowing how to use your feet to get inside them or outside, not let them do what they want to do, and that all does seem like it could be useful going forward at CU too.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's developing edges for players and you know, helping players understand how to not watch tape but study tape. You know, and not a lot of people do that. Like we'll watch a game, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of people in the audience they'll watch the All 22 or whatever. What are you studying? The All 22, right? And so there's a big difference in that. And I think those tools will be conveyed to the fellows up there at CU, and that'll give them an edge. When we were successful at CU at Colorado, our coaches, you know, even as a wide receiver / running back, I mean, I knew what the defensive line and the fronts were. Excuse me, I got a cough.
Good. You need some water?
Wow, I do.
Should have a water bottle over there somewhere.
Yeah. Wow.
You're good. You're good. We'll get Pritchard water here in a second. There we go. Help that guy out.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Great job, Emma.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you very much.
Definitely.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to hear that stuff about a player who's so talented. And I think that is the difference between someone who is good and someone who's great. It's the combination of the physical abilities and the work ethic. I mean, I remember sitting in there with Aqib Talib, and I thought Aqib was one of the guys that people thought maybe coasted off of his physical abilities. But this dude, if you got him going, like, I remember, you know, some of the games they were going up a wide receiver, he would be going up against a wide receiver, and he would be sitting there on Friday just telling me, like, everything, you know, off the record, but just, like, anything and everything about this wide receiver. He's like, oh, yeah, watch. If he lines up like this, he's going to do this, and I'm going to hit him with this. And it was like, wow, this dude's preparing so hard. And when he talked about rookies, he would just be like, yeah, he can be really good. He just if he prepares hard enough.
That is kind of crazy. You don't think about it, especially with cornerbacks.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of people think it's such a physical game.
Exactly.
But it is part of that. I mean, Deion, 6'1", 6'2", long arms and really quick feet. But on top of that, it's the knowledge of it too, though, right? So I've been talking a lot this morning.
Yeah, he was on for
like 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you go on this one. We have to ask this to all of our guests. Rivers, lakes, or oceans? What's the best body of water?
Oh, good Lord. Rivers, lakes, or oceans? Best. Okay, put it in context. What do you mean best?
Like your favorite?
What could you not live without?
Oh,
or just like you're spending a day on the water. Where are you?
Okay. Well, because I mean, if I'm fishing, I want to find a good lake, right?
Okay.
I mean, although I've been to Yellowstone and I did some fly fishing in a river.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the deep sea fishing?
I have. I'm about to get to that. I'm about to get to that in the ocean. So in Cabo, in fact. A deep sea fishing, and then certainly off the coast of LA. But I got a little sick. I got seasick though.
Oh, so that's out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think a lake.
Let's go.
Because you can put a nice house nearby.
Yeah,
true.
You can camp out.
Have your own dock out there.
Yeah.
Docks are nice.
All right. Before you go, just
Yes.
let people know where they can find you. You had a great show earlier today.
I know. You can find me at
VSiN.
VSiN.com. I'm the lead NFL analyst at VSiN. VSiN.com, VSIN.com. Or you can follow me on Twitter at @MIPritchard.
All right, there he is, Pritch. Thank you so much for your time.
Sorry about the coffee.
No worries. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.